So I always say they came in the back door. We come in the front door. We stay above ground, and we face people and we speak the truth. So a lot of people, they get a little confused. I've had a newspaper reporter came up to me not too long ago and said, "Are you for or against the mine?" What have you been listening to? You've been listening to Aquila Resources, and you listen to the people ask me for the front 40, and you ask that. So I always got to remember, it's back 40, F-O-R-T-Y, those are the bad guys, and front 40, F-R-O-N-T 40, we're the good guys. Okay, back 40, we're going to give you a quick 13-year history. 2003, they started drilling holes. In between 2003 and probably 2006, they had over 22 different LLCs constantly to about 2008 before they settled on Aquila. And there's a reason for doing that. Different names, companies, same people. Finally, about 2012, Hudbay, who had controlling interest previously to that, maybe back up 2008, they were all ready to put in for the permit. Hudbay is a mining company. I call a real mining company because they've done mines before, which Aquila hasn't. And they also had the finances to do it. So we were kind of worried because if they did it, they had everything going for them. Well, abruptly, 2012, I was sitting having my coffee, me and my wife, listening to Good Morning America, and I get a phone call from the PR girl from Aquila Resources. She says, "Ron?" I says, "Yeah." 7:30 in the morning, "Why are you calling me?" She says, "Hudbay pulled out. Have a good life, goodbye." So we all got kind of excited because they were gone. 3 years later, 2015, Aquila received some money from Orion for cash considerations for their silver. In 2015, on November 12th, they submitted an application to the DEQ. And in Michigan, the DEQ is the Department of Environmental Quality, and they are the ones that make the decision. Nobody but the DEQ, not the DNR, not the governor, not anybody, it's all the DEQ. August 31st, they issued a proposed draft tentative decision to grant Aquila a mining permit. Everybody got excited. They're getting the permit. They're going to start mining next week. Draft permit, the only thing that meant is that it gave Aquila could continue to use their whatever they needed to use to gather more information. It basically just says you filled out most of the I's and crossed all the T's, so you could continue to develop your mine. October 6th, they had a public meeting in Stevenson, which some of you here were at, which I feel was handled very poorly by the DEQ because we were supposed to get 5 minutes to comment, and because of the people, they told us 3 minutes, and then an hour or so into it, they said 2 minutes. And there were people that came hundreds of miles for that. So that was very upsetting. The DEQ will issue a final decision on or before December 1st. That's what they said. Well, the only final decision they could come to on December 1st would be a denial, which I don't believe is going to happen. What's probably going to happen is they're going to have to extend it because they don't have all the information yet. Not even counting the wetlands permit, which is months and months away, but there's still other stuff that they have to do in order to put a mine in. In fact, I quote this from Mr. Mackey, who is the mining leader. Aquila must yet gain final permitting, submit engineering and mine design plans, and prove the company has the financial means to follow through with the project. Those steps could take years. In 2003, when they started drilling holes, grassroots organization was formed in response to the threat of a metallic mineral mine potentially being developed along the shores of the Menominee River. As I said before, the people knew it, the local people knew it, they had acquired all these mineral rights and started to drill. So what we did, the Front 40, we got together, and this is 13 years ago, at Lake Township Hall, and what are we going to do? And we said there's only one thing to do. You have to educate people. We have to educate ourselves, and we have to educate the public on the issues and the issues and potential pollution problems that a mine would happen. So what we did is we put little videos together, VHS. Does anybody remember VHS? And we had a little camera, a little 12-inch TV. And we went around and we did presentations at county fairs, local townships, city councils, county commissioners, sportsmen's clubs. We went through mining forums throughout the UP, Wisconsin. I even was downtown Chicago doing a presentation. Private citizens, senior citizens, realtors. No group was too small. We were there. And we encouraged people to do their own research to become informed about the hazards of sulfide mining and acid mine drainage, which Dr. Geddes had mentioned. Do your own investigating. Google sulfide mining. Google acid mine drainage. You would be surprised the information you'd get. We also continue to have regular meetings from 2003 to 2012, almost every month or every other month. And we also brought in speakers, because everybody sort of got tired of me talking all the time. So we would bring speakers in from Marquette, from Save the Wine UP, who was our ally, and basically was the only other group from 2003 until 2015 that was visibly opposing mining. And of course, as you know, the Eagle mine that was Save the Wine UP, that's where most of their energy was spent. There's never been a metallic sulfide mine that has not polluted water, resources where water was present. That is a fact, no matter what anybody says. I want to go over some of the concerns that we have. Most of them are common sense concerns, but these are the concerns that not only people in this room, but the people that live there and the people all over. Of course, number one is the contamination of the Menominee River. Shaky lakes. A lot of people don't know there are 7 lakes adjacent to where they want to put the hole in the ground. What about all the streams and creeks? We do stream monitoring. We do 7 streams around the potential mine site. What happens to those streams? We already know for a fact from Dr. Keith West from UW Marinette, 2 of those streams will disappear, at least once they start digging a hole. What happens to the fish, the animals, the plant life? What about the groundwater depletion? What about well contamination? What about water pressure from blasting? Acid mine drainage that you heard about before. What about the hunting and the fishing? The Menominee River is a world-class smallmouth fishing. There is no better place for smallmouth river in the United States. I've seen so many articles written. People come from all over to fish this river. One of Front 40's greatest supporters comes from Northbrook, Illinois. He only wants to come to one place. He owns no property. He knows nobody but me and Carol. He has no relatives. He just loves to fish that river. Catch and release smallmouth. Sturgeon. Let's back to smallmouth. There's a company in De Pere, Wisconsin. I'm sure you know where that is. 7 full-time guides take 2 people at a time over several hundred trips a year from just upstream from this downstream. It's just world-class fishing. Sturgeon, I've been privileged to fish for sturgeon. I got to go with a couple of people from the Wisconsin side in a pontoon boat. Sat there with my little worm on a night crawler on a 15-pound test line, caught 12 sturgeon from 24 to 48 inches within 2 hours. Of course, with catch and release. But getting one of those prehistoric fish, it's just mind-boggling. Light and noise pollution will destroy the very nature of our forest there, as well as annoy and aggravate the residents with the intrusion of light and noise. They want to do this 24/7. Fugitive dust. We always talked about the water. Everything is about the water. That's what Front 40 has always done, and that was our major concern. Water, water, water. You gotta have clean water to live in the Menominee River. But fugitive dust, it's fast-moving, far-reached, and has more potential to be degraded more quickly than water quality. It will impact living creatures, plant life, create health concerns, and adversely impact all surfaces touched by fugitive dust. Wind blows in all 4 directions, so nobody's safe. The proposal project is adjacent to a floodplain area. There's 2 dams right directly upstream from the proposed site. If one of those should go, or if we should have a big melt-off from up north, this water will be in the hole. I've already seen the water come up to the road, and there was no snow on the ground. It was all from runoff from up north, who, as we know, get a couple hundred inches of snow. Menominee County has a 2003 resolution banning the use of cyanide, a point which is being ignored by Aquila. The Savannah, which Al mentioned, 1,520 acre area with over 100 recorded prairie plants and a number of rare, threatened and endangered species. Very sensitive to groundwater changes. Picture 600 acres of that 15. 600 acres, as we talk, 500, 586, 6, 7, 8. But let's take 600 acres of beautiful woods, and they go in there and they completely clear cut the whole thing. They're going to make that look like 600 acres of Walmart parking lot. And then it's just going to have buildings, tailings, cyanide piles. Very concerned with that. On the permit part, the first time, 632, for those who don't know, it was enacted in 2005 for non-ferrous mining. And the Eagle mine up in Marquette was the first one to put in for a permit of the new mine, 632. When Aquila filled out their application and turned it in, everybody commented from all over. And we had one particular thing I'd like to mention that we were concerned of, and that there were multiple data gaps in the application. How many chances has Aquila already had to provide the proper information? We feel that the permit should have been initially denied due to the incomplete and inaccurate data submitted in November of 2015. There were almost 600 separate questions that needed to be addressed after the initial review. This should have been a red flag for the DEQ. 632 has 2 things. I'm not going to read the section numbers, but they're very short. 632 non-ferrous mineral mining regulation states, the department shall approve a mining permit if it determines both of the following. The permit application meets the requirement of this part, and the proposed mining operation will not pollute, impair, or destroy the air, water, or other natural resources, or the public trust in those resources. Public trust has been destroyed by the DEQ for even considering the draft approval of this application. There is no defined plan to demonstrate that this particular operation will not pollute, impair, or destroy the air, water, or other natural resources. The DEQ has stated that they do not wish to see a project that will pollute in perpetuity, but it looks like that is exactly what is going to happen. December 2nd, December 1st is coming Thursday, and regardless of what they say, there will be no mine next year in Menominee, I assure you that. I want to touch, lastly, on something that Lake Township has that no other community has had, where a mine is tried to permit. We have zoning, and we have mineral extraction ordinance. When the Lake Township, which is the township where Aquila wants to put in their mine, when the Lake Township zoning ordinance was in its developmental stages, sulfide mining became a huge topic of discussion. At this time, Lake Township decided to adopt a mineral extraction ordinance, or an MEO, to protect the health, safety, and welfare of its citizens. That is what all townships, that is what all units of governments should be doing. Not worrying about what's popular and what's not popular, but they should be protecting their citizens. Originally, it contained 50 pages. As Part 632 was being written at the same time, a substantial portion of Lake Township's mineral extraction ordinance was being written. A substantial portion of the MEO was incorporated, almost word for word, in 632. The township then crafted the MEO, I think it's 8 or 9 pages, so as not to duplicate, contradict, or conflict with 632. That's what it says. Well, a letter from Aquila's attorney in December of 2003 insisted that mining be a special land use category in the zoning ordinance. The zoning board was told at the time, 2003-2004, that mining per se could not be banned, but must be allowed to occur where the minerals are located. Therefore, when the ordinance was being crafted, mining, along with many other uses, became part of Chapter 14, Special Land Use Approval. So Lake Township has, in the zoning, Special Land Use Approval, and they have the mineral extraction ordinance. Now remember, the zoning, that was insisted, Keely insisted that the township put that in. So last year, Aquila sent a letter to the Lake Township, and I'll read just 2 sentences from it. Aquila states in a letter to Lake Township, these ordinances impose numerous and substantial requirements on mining operations, including the requirement that mining companies obtain a special use zoning approval from the township prior to commencing commercial extraction of mineral resources. Aquila therefore respectfully requests that the township immediately repeal the MEO and pertinent mining-related provisions of the zoning ordinance. Lake Township has asked Aquila multiple times to put in writing what their objections are. You have something, I believe the zoning is 20-some pages and the mineral extraction is 8 or 10. Put in writing what you object to. We'll discuss it. Refuse. Refuse to verbally or written to what's wrong. So obviously, I think there's something in there that they're afraid of and that it's going to stand up. So what happens down the line? Some people might be afraid that the mining company is going to sue Lake Township. I think Aquila should worry that Lake Township doesn't sue them for not following the rules. Now, if you read the zoning and you read the mineral extraction ordinance, there is not one thing in there that says they can't put a mine in. What it does is it raises the bar. If you're going to come in our community and put a mine in, you're going to do it right. And you're going to have to listen to the locals, and you're going to have to keep the locals informed. We want to know when you're going to blast. We want to know when you're going to bring dynamite in. We want to know everything. What is wrong with that? If you're going to do the job, then do it right. So, again, we all don't want this mine. We must all stand together. Everybody.